Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Game. With my camera out of focus, it'll fix itself at some point. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and thank you to everyone in chat who reminded me to unmute my microphone. It seems to work. Yes! Also, I do have some contention with Sparrow. My earphones are not dirty, they're just very old. I have recently cleaned them, taken them all apart and everything. I do not like a dirty earphone. Anyway, let's bring in Trick and Mackenzie, who are here with me. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey. You good? Everything been okay for both of you this week?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an interesting week.
Yes. We have been obviously running the PTS, and we've got some things to talk about today. I do just want to note that there was a maintenance yesterday, and routine as normal. There is a note here saying that season level skips are now available for purchase, as they have been for previous seasons in the past. Johan, what can you tell us about the current status of the PTS?
Yes, so the wave one of the PTS ended today, actually, and we've seen quite a lot of participation, a lot of feedback, a lot of bug reports, and we're super happy to see that. Definitely identified a number of action points, which we will be talking about today. Mackenzie, amongst other things, will be mentioning a lot of balancing changes that have been made over the past couple of weeks. And yeah, so there's one topic in particular I want to cover really quick, which is the optimization station cost. We've seen quite a lot of feedback on this, namely that a lot of people feel like the cost currently is a bit too high to optimize your gear. But we also noticed that there is a little bit of confusion when it comes to what are the sources of this and how do you obtain these materials in game. And the reason this is because some of those sources are not available on the PTS, and also that the descriptions in game did not accurately reflect all these sources. So to give you the full context, let's see here. You can get them from the primary source, of course, but then you can also get them from the summit caches that are rewarded by completing the new summit challenges that are being added into U12. These will always contain a small number of SHD calibration and field recon data. The optimizations caches from the season events and reward tracks will also contain a moderate amount of calibration and field research data materials. And on top of that, all the materials may also be crafted from blueprints found in certain projects, as well as high threat control points. So there are a number of sources that you can get these materials from. We will, of course, continue to monitor discussions, but we believe currently that the balancing is in a good place. If you consider all these extra sources that are not represented on the PTS currently. But we will definitely see what you have to say on that topic in Wave 2 in particular. So make sure to jump in. Wave 2 for TU12 PTS will start on November 27th, and it will run until December 2nd. So it should be about one and a half week from now. On Friday next week, you will be able to test the new balancing changes that Mackenzie will be presenting today, and also some other cool things that we have been working on.
Yeah, I do want to point out as well, like you mentioned that we're going to continue to monitor things and make changes.
Yes.
There is nothing like the amount of data that we can get from the live player base as well, not just the PTS. The PTS is great because we get a lot of data and feedback, but it's a lot smaller than what we get, obviously, when we have the whole player base stuck in. So thank you to everyone who's given feedback. And please continue to give feedback after the features are live as well.
Absolutely. We love good constructive feedback. I see some questions about phase 2. Will all the sources actually be available in phase 2? And the answer to that is no, because, for example, season 4 is not actually active in the PTS, right? So you can't get, for example, seasonal rewards. But
what we
you should just know that. No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, sorry. So on the second wave of the PTS, from the vendor and the boo, you'll be able to get the balancing caches, and those will now include the crafting blueprints. So that at least for the second phase, you can test out the crafting route as well. because it was, too big of a burden to expect people to farm those blueprints for that, just to test in a PTS.
Okay. I do want to get to the meat of the show. Meat,
yes.
meat, but like to get
all
to
the cool stuff.
Because we have some things to show, and Mackenzie, I want to give you as much time as possible to go through all of them. Can we start with the bighorn?
Yes. So, in the first wave of the PTS, we buffed the bighorn by increasing the magazine size from 30 to 40. But that still really didn't bring it up to the level that we were looking to get it to. And so we have a new bighorn buff that would be in addition to the magazine size.
Okay, let me bring that up here.
Yes, so you see here it's still got the 40 mag, but then the big game hunter talent here, you'll see that you still build up the stacks the same way. So you get 2% headshot damage from each of the stacks. You build up to 50, but the big change here is that once you're at full stacks, rather than immediately losing them, instead you will have the opportunity to maintain this kind of wave. And so 10 stacks decay every 4 seconds until all of them have been removed, but headshots delay the decaying of stacks. And so we've got a video that will kind of help you see what this is like. So you see I'm at 50 stacks here, and you see the red meter on the bottom, on the side of the stack counter there. And so you see each headshot I'm getting resets that red decay.
Okay.
And once that gets to the bottom, that's when you lose the 10 stacks.
All right, nice. Chat, what do you think?
And so, yeah.
I see multiple people actually asking if it worked with focus.
It does not. The scope's different.
Okay.
But this should really help with the stacks to really, once you get that really powerful state, that you'll be able to keep it going.
Fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to see what people think about it in the next phase. The next one I have on my list is the PDR.
Yes. So the base PDR weapon, damage-wise, it just didn't compete with the other assault rifles. And so we've adjusted its base damage to be more in line with what you'd expect for its RPM and recoil profile and magazine size and everything. And so you'll see here, this is an all yellow build, but we have a side-by-side comparison with the SIG 556. And you'll see here that, it's competitive with that assault rifle, which is what you'd expect. And this change affects the named version of it, the test subject, and it also affects the capacitor as well.
Okay, well, that one is next on my list anyway. I just want to check in quickly on chat. I don't have any dedicated PvP news, but I know that we are going to be talking about some of the adjustments to the Scorpio in regards to PvP, so we'll come back to that soon. Let's head into the capacitor, because there's been some buffs there as well. Okay.
Yes,
what do we got
and
here?
So you see that the damage buff that happens to the PDR also applies here, but also the magazine size has been bumped. So now it has the a plus 11 round magazine. One thing I want to note is the crit hit damage increase. It still exists for it, and it's been moved to the muzzle. So it's still the plus 30 crits hit damage, which I saw people really liked. So don't worry, that's still around. This is on top of that, and on top of the damage buff. And we've also adjusted its talent capacitance. So now you build stacks up to 40, and each of those stacks gives 1.5 skill damage. And the decay still works the same way as it did before, but that means that you'll be able to get up to a max of 60% skill damage. So that's, this is really making it more competitive with the test subjects, with the perfectly in sync there. And we've also bumped up the amount of weapon damage you get per skill tier to 7.5% from 5%. So good buffs all around with the capacitor.
Oh, yeah, because the percentage contribution before was 1%, right?
Yes, 1% of 50 stacks, and then it was 5% for the. So it's we bumped up all of those.
Okay, very cool. Iran82 saying, just give us better recoil. People are also commenting on the scope. The scope is pretty chunky. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go back if people didn't have a chance to look at the scope. Come on, that thing's not compensating for anything. It's
That's one hell of a scope.
yeah, there you go. I like it. Let's head over and take a look, because I know some people were asking, there's been a lot of comments about the Scorpio, particularly in PvP. So I want to head over and take a look at that, because I know some people will be very interested. Actually, firstly,
Yes.
what was your deduction after watching the PTS Phase 1 in regards to this weapon? Did you have a chance to look at it?
Yes. So, like the biggest thing is that there's a lot of excitement around the Scorpio, which is awesome. And I see people super excited to make these new run and gun builds in PvE with it. And so we really want to keep that. I think there was a little bit of things that were worrisome, in particular, like on Legendary against rogue agents. Like it just kind of almost trivialized the content. And so we still want this to be a really fun, exciting, competitive gun, but if it's on the hardest difficulty against the hardest enemies, it shouldn't just make the game, a gimme. And so, yes, that's where this balancing tweak comes in. It's, again, I want to really emphasize, we still want this to be a really fun, competitive gun. It's just trying to add some skill to it.
Okay. On that note, let's take a look at what that means. All right, What are we seeing here?
And so the damage, mag, all of that's the same. Septic shock builds up the exact same way. The change here comes that the duration of the status effects is based off the percentage of pellets hit on the applying shots. And so, what that means is if you're more accurate and you're able to get more pellets on the enemy, the duration of the status effect is going to be longer.
Yeah, I saw Nesto was talking in chat about being able to apply a buff from 70 meters away, and that seems a little bit out of character for a shotgun. This would, landing every pellet from 70 meters away doesn't seem like something that's probably that reasonable. So this is interesting.
Yeah. So it's still like if you get one pellet on them, it's still going to apply poison on the first shot. It's just going to be a shorter poison than if you got all 8 pellets on them.
Okay. Cool.
So it's you still get the bonus. It's just like it's better if you get more pellets, and so it rewards the accuracy and actually getting close to people.
Okay, great. And let's move over to the PvP side now. What are the changes there on the PvP side?
Yes, and so we saw the concerns here about this for PvP. In particular, one thing that I saw that was really fair is that if you're trying to run away from someone who has this gun, they'd get the first shot on you and it'd apply bleed, and then all of a sudden you couldn't sprint and you're kind of dead. And so that's where we've bumped up all the stacks 1 by 1. So it's 2 stacks to get bleed, 4 to get disrupt, 7 to get ensnare, and then 8 to get the damage buff. And then it also has the same tweak as the PvE version, which is the duration of the status effects is based off the percentage of the pellets hit.
Okay, fantastic. As always, like we mentioned before, giving feedback on all of this, not just on the PTS, but as we get into the next phase, and then once it goes live, please continue to give your feedback, because we need it. It's cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing...
It was all the feedback.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how those changes affect people who are using this gun, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's take a look now at the loadout stuff, because if you haven't been here in previous weeks, you may have missed the memo. And let's take a look at this. Mackenzie, what am I looking at?
You have 16 loadouts now.
Yeah.
Yes. Which I know with all the it goes really well with the inventory size increase and with all the new brands and gear sets and everything that we've been adding over the past couple updates. I think people have been really wanting this.
Yeah, definitely. It's been one of those things that a lot of people have been talking about, especially like we talked about the inventory size increase last week, and seeing now that there's loadout slots to back that up is really cool. Of course, that applies over here as well on the apparel side. Deadship saying you actually need 16 loadouts. Some people do. Some people have a lot of variation in their loadouts.
I also see people saying like 16 is not enough.
I mean, sure. Some people probably want like 1,000. But there you go.
No, it's really awesome. I think it definitely allows for having a greater variety of builds as well as looks, for your agent readily available. So hopefully something that you'll enjoy.
Yeah. No, that's very exciting. I do have another image here that we didn't show. But Mackenzie, can we go back to talk a little bit about the optimization station?
Yes. So this is kind of going back to what Johan was describing about the different sources from them. And so you see here in the material inspect menu, the resources inspect menu, that we've updated the description to highlight, all of the different spots that you can get the optimization materials from. And it's really about going through all these different sources. We don't expect players to only get these from projects. We're also expecting that loop of crafting and getting them from the season rewards and getting them from the summit caches and all of that together.
Okay. Cool. Do let me know if there's anything that pops up in chat that you want to talk about.
Yes, I do have a couple other changes that we're making for PTS Phase 2.
Cool.
So we have a fix for the Achilles Pulse. Its cooldown was not scaling properly with mods. I've also, we're adjusting the Shrapnel Trap in PvP to be more in line with other explosive skills.
Yeah, I saw someone asking about that a little bit earlier. What does that change look like?
It's just getting it closer damage-wise to the other explosive skills. Because right now it's kind of an outlier. It's significantly stronger than them. So it should be, more fair. And then we're also making, we fixed the Empress International. It's named, the two named items for it had the incorrect cores. So those are now skill tiers as well. And we're also adjusting some of the summit challenges based off feedback to make them more even as far as how much time it takes each of those to complete.
Okay. If there is anything you get reminded of that you want to bring up, that's all I have in my notes.
Yeah.
So it might make Johan
I think it's
nervous.
Nah. Like, I think it's definitely worth mentioning here that while wave 1 of the PTS ended today, there will be a wave 2. There will be additional changes before the release of TU12. So make sure that you, if you can, jump on the PTS next Friday. Give us your thoughts and feedback on the official forums. Let us know what you like. If you find any bugs, do report them. And let's just make TU12 the best update it can be. And I think we've already seen a lot of good feedback, and I really hope that the changes that have been made so far is something that all of you can get on board with, and that you are excited for all the new gear and stuff that's coming in TU12.
Okay. So let's just go through the timeline a little bit. So the first wave ends when, and wave 2 opens, I think, on the 27th. Can you just give us a bit of a roadmap of what people can expect over the coming weeks, Johan?
Yes. So wave 1 ended today, a bit earlier, a couple of hours ago. Wave 2 will launch next Friday. The preload for that will become available the day before, on Thursday next week. Then that will run up until December 2nd, which is the Wednesday 2 weeks from now. And assuming nothing too drastic would happen, obviously the release would be somewhere in early December as well.
We don't have a solid date just yet.
No, we might, there's always a possibility we might move it slightly, but early December.
Okay.
It's when you can expect all this good stuff.
yeah, I mean, it's important that we get all of these changes in before it comes out. So we'll keep you updated on the date in future streams. And also, Twitter is a great place to be. I plug it every time, but twitter.com/thedivision game if you want like news as it happens. That's the Twitter, right?
Yes, I think you got it.
I just realized I haven't checked in like
Good
forever, so I don't even know.
I think it's also worth mentioning that like we do have an official Discord where you also can keep up to date with all the news for the game, and you can also find players to play with, etc. on there. And if you need tips from experienced players, if you're new as well, that's a really good resource. So if you didn't know about it, jump on there and hang out with some fellow Division agents.
How can they find a link to that? Do we have a link? There you go. Seven's already done it. On it.
Way out of you.
.gg/thedivision game. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Also, shout out to our mods who do an awesome job of making sure that everyone gets the information.
Absolutely.
You're awesome.
Our mods are awesome.
Okay. Mackenzie, was there anything else you wanted to address from chat? I do have some agent highlights to check out, and we also need to talk about where we're at with the season before we finish off the stream. I'll give it to you, Johan. What can you tell us about where we're at with Season 3 currently?
Yeah, so we're definitely approaching the end phase of Season 3. Yesterday, the last man on target became available, which if you take down, in addition to the 3 previous ones, you will unlock the prime target, Schaefer. And if you take down Schaefer, you will earn a unique skill variant Shrapnel Trap, which is quite cool, really. And as always, when a new man on target become available, you have a double XP event that runs for the first 15 levels in the next week. So make sure you jump onto the game and take advantage of that. Beyond that, for the remainder of the season, you have next week on Tuesday, the Belfry League will start. And as always, you can participate in the league to earn rewards and unique cosmetics, etc. And finally, on December 1st, a bit further into the future, you will see the return of the Guardian Global Event, which I'm not sure. Was that the one that was reworked? I can't remember. There was one that wasn't, the one that wasn't. But that global event is definitely making a return that week. So if you like that, that's going to be the last global event that actually doesn't have the global event shop, by the way. Any global event after that is going to have the global event shop that's being introduced with TU12.
Cool. Yeah, we talked about
I think
that.
we look forward to it as well.
If you didn't hear the news about the global event shop, Trick talked about that. Was it last week?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you can go back into either our previous streams on YouTube or on, if you're watching this on Twitch, you can find them in our past broadcasts as well if you want to go and check out what's happening with the global event shop, because I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely cool.
Yes. Let's take a look at this week's agent highlights. We do have a very art-focused set of ones to show off. We have this one taken from Reddit from Aaron Nord. I love the crossover. I don't think I get in trouble with CD Projekt for showing this. At least I hope not. I love this. Very, very cool. One can dream. There's been crossovers of other games in the past. Just saying. Wasn't there a Tekken Street Fighter game?
I have no idea.
Am I wrong? All right, chat. For 25 points, game crossovers. Please give us a list. Then we also, so Aranort over on Reddit, thank you very much for that. I also have one here from Art of Bray over on Instagram, actually. Very cool. It's cool to see things from other platforms as well. So head over to Art of Bray's Instagram and follow, because we like to see art from every part of the world and every platform. Very cool. There you go. Mortal Kombat versus DC, Marvel versus Capcom, Street Fighter, Tekken, all of the fighting games. Assassin's Creed and Final Fantasy. There you go.
Nice.
Mackenzie and Johan, do you have any off the top of your head? I think that covers a lot of them.
None that I can think of. I have none.
There you go. Hyrule Warriors, technically, yeah. I would say so. Perfect Dark / GoldenEye. Oh, okay. There's a... Yeah, so interesting
Perfect Dark GoldenEye.
Kingdom Hearts, probably
That's old school.
most famous of all. Yeah. All right. Predator and Ghost Recon. Okay. Anyway, I digress. It's very interesting though. Mackenzie, was there anything else you wanted to clarify before we head towards wrapping up the stream?
Not anything. No, nothing that we'd be addressing for the PTS. But you know, we really do look at the feedback. We watch the streams on Twitch, YouTube. We read the comments on Reddit, on Twitter, on the forums. Trust me, like even us devs, like we look through this stuff a ton, constantly on new. You know, I'm searching on new. I'm searching all this stuff, and so we really care about what you guys are saying.
Yeah. Mackenzie's up all night dev scrolling through absolutely everything, not getting a whole lot of sleep.
Yeah.
I'm sure all of us have done that, you know, whilst lying in bed, like, I need to know what's happening. Saucier Carton's asking, why not anime agent art? Send it in. Hashtag agent highlights if you have things you want to show off. I would absolutely love that. Okay. This is my favorite. Mackenzie is actually Ryan Gosling. Sure.
Are you?
Fact. There you go. It's I've seen that. I've seen that comment a bunch of times in chat. It's true. Ryan Gosling quit his day job and came to work at Massive. So,
just before we end, I'd like to quickly address a lot of people who ask about PvP news. So, Title Update 12 does not necessarily have a large emphasis on PvP. It focuses on a lot of quality of life features and community requests. There will be PvP balancing, as has been mentioned amongst other things today, of course, but there is no new PvP content available in Title Update 12. This is update focused on the optimization station, the global event shop, loadout increase, inventory stash increase, and all that good stuff. So no PvP news for this update, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I would like to say, if you are interested in PvP or any side of the game, when patch notes come out for the update, there's always a lot of things that affect anything you do in the game. So do check out the patch notes and take a look at how that's going to affect your experience if you are looking for the minor details to find out what's going on there. Johan, do you have any kind of roadmap for when people can see those patch notes and those sorts of things? Is there going to be any notes for Wave 2 or?
Yes, there will most definitely be patch notes for Wave 2, and they will be published on the PTS forums on the day of, which would be the 27th.
Okay. All right, and then obviously a bigger one as we get to releasing the whole update. So keep your eyes peeled for those. I just want to thank both Johan and Mackenzie for coming by today. Thank you. It's always nice to, even if it's digitally, see some humans. I've been in my house since March, so it's nice. And yeah, that's going to be all for today. Make sure you give feedback on the PTS and everything as well, like we mentioned earlier. And we're going to leave it there with some of this week's Division 2 photos. If you do have photos, again, hashtag the Division 2 photos on Twitter. We love to see things taken from the Division's photo mode, so please take some pictures and send them in to us. We'll see you all. Oh wait, when's the next stream, Johan?
So the next stream is going to be on December 2nd, and it's going to cover Season 4, amongst other things. So no stream next week, but the week after, you can expect to see the return of State of the Game.
Sounds good. We will be here. All right. Have a great couple of weeks, everyone. Enjoy the PTS. Enjoy the game. We'll see you very soon. Okay.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wear a mask. Do it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Wait, here we go.